okay, the WWE just signed Kenta. If you got to watch the thing they did, Hulk Hogan actually announces it in Japan. They signed the contract in the ring. I've seen Kenta have 60-minute double time limit draw matches against someone like Daniel Bryan. Guy is an amazing athlete. He is, if you look at Japanese wrestling in the more current context, it is Kenta. This guy has a kick that rivals the comedic versions of Chuck Norris. I mean, he is a hard-hitting individual. I mean, when he kicks somebody, even though you know it's not connecting as hard as it sounds, 'cause if it were to be, you'd see heads flying off into the crowd. Guy is great. Issues I currently see. Each track record for non-American established foreign talent is horrible. And they've had a lot of concussions recently. Kenta has a very hard, very straightforward style. And they've seen lots of guys have that similar style get injury prone. So I hope they don't neuter him too much. That is my fear, is that they're going to neuter his character to make him fit more in with the E style. You know, they have done with certain people who have that harder style. Someone like a CM Punk, like a Daniel Bryan. They have actually done enough to keep their style still good without having it be anywhere near as vicious as it could be. I mentioned how the E has had a poor track record with non-mainstream American wrestling fan established wrestlers. And before you go, but Eddie Guerrero did well. He was in WCW. That's where people knew who he was. Benoit, same thing. Jericho, same thing. Other people who should have done a lot more in the E have not panned out. You know, Del Rio is a classic example. He is pretty much lower main event, upper mid. But when you saw his stuff in Mexico, phenomenal. Tajiri, Yoshitatsu, Takamichi Noku, even someone like Funaki. I probably mentioned Yoshitatsu. Tyson Kidd. David Hart Smith is also one who had a very good following in Canada, just didn't really do anything very well. Most recently, Sin Cara. You know, Tiger Ali Singh found even farther back. You know, they brought in lots of people with a lot of fanfare who have a tremendous amount of foreign build and have a great fan base there, but they don't have a level of mainstream American exposure, and there's also a language barrier. It could be kind of difficult. If you ever want to look back at people like Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, even Jinder Mahal, these are people who had a pretty decent amount of work in other arenas that were not mainstream American wrestling, that are very good, very skilled. But the E had a problem trying to translate it into making them very popular when it came to the American sense, for the American mainstream appeal. Ironically, with H taking over more control slowly, if he's allowing some of the people to actually bring over more of what they are actually signed for, as opposed to trying to go, you're this phenomenal talent, I want to put you in this box and work in the box. If they go, you're phenomenal talent, we want to find out how we can take our style and your style and match them up. Not have you entirely lose who you are to the E style, but instead just have your two styles overlap just enough to make a phenomenal presentation of a character that's true to the roots, as well as it can be endearing to the mainstream American wrestling population.